Linn, welcome to the Dope Stroke podcast. You are running some serious momentum at the moment, which we're going to get to. I have two co-hosts that do this podcast with me. I said to them earlier, they literally have been on a different time zone, haven't given me anything, and all I got was, make sure you tell Linn she's got a filthy golf swing. So that was all I got from them. Are you familiar with Englishisms and filthy golf swing? Does that translate?
Pretty okay, yeah.
Okay. I know you've got a lot of Scottish heritage, right, and tradition, which it ties into where we are. I mean, talk about heritage in the sport. This place is about as much heritage as you can get. In your position, did you ever think that you would be here guiding the product people on ladies' apparel and ladies' footwear?
I don't know who told you that. I don't think that's what I do.
I sat and listened to this presentation earlier to the directors of apparel, and they called out you as their favorite person.
Aww.
For
nice.
Design and inspiration.
Aww. I mean, I just think that it's really fun to somewhat be involved. I mean, I have an interest for it, for sure. And then I just really like to make things a little bit better as we go. So if it's style or performance, I feel like performance is really where they should use me the most, because if there's anyone who wears the things, it's me, in all conditions. So if there's anything good I have to say, it's there. But yeah, it's just really nice to be a part of a good team that also are up to listening to what I have to say. They didn't really have to do that, but they do.
I think we see it around the buildings here, that it's born of sport, rooted in golf. You're almost the other way, right? Such is the tradition. So I think it's fantastic that Adidas listens to you. You push the limits. Do you feel the responsibility that comes with that, though, that you have such a say over it?
I think as an ambassador, I think it's part of my job. When I kind of signed that first contract, I see it as my obligation to tell them when things aren't good or when things are. I mean, I'm just as eager to make Adidas better as long as I work with them, and just really want to make sure that we all enjoy the process and have a good time while we do it, but also really I can be a pain sometimes. I'm sure I can, but I rather be that than maybe someone else.
Absolutely.
I don't mind it.
And it sounds like that Adidas appreciates it. I know that from an equipment side, we always want that feedback. I know teachers always want that feedback as well. You're coming here top 3 last week. I mean, we're talking about some serious momentum. How important is momentum, do you think, in your career as a whole?
It's very important. I mean, just previous years when I've done really well in an event, that kind of catches on to the next coming weeks, and especially now, the start of the season, it's nice to know that kind of the practice I put in and some of the changes that we made didn't get worse or got better. So it's just kind of nice to be sitting in a good spot at the moment.
I saw your pre-swing rehearsal last week. Looked like, head outside the hands on the way back. Whether that's the drill you're doing, that's for another day, another podcast. But you mentioned work you put in. How do you get that to the point where you can trust it and hit the go button? Much like with your Adidas apparel and your footwear, it does the job. I've heard you talk, I'm not going to make you repeat it, about spikes and non-spikes, where your head's at with that. But how do you get to a point with your golf swing that you can trust it in tournament conditions?
I think with anything, if someone presents good evidence, good facts, if I can present a swing on the range that I see gives me a better results, it's very easy for me to just catch that, take that with me and go out and play. I think that's the only way for me to get better, to kind of linger with my old swing or my own thoughts, or something that worked yesterday is not going to help me tomorrow. So I'm always very keen on finding. I'm also today that might be the feeling, tomorrow something else.
Okay.
Do
you get deep in stats and data?
No.
So feel is what carries the direction of your golf game, which I think you can do very much as a tour player, fantastic. But how do you get it that it's subconscious? Because under pressure, it kind of needs to be, right? Or do you still have swing thoughts?
I always have swing thoughts. Like, I can, if I'm standing on the range before a round and everything feels too easy and I hit the ball too well without thinking, I know it's going to be a bad day.
Because if you hit the ball too well
without thinking. Like,
yeah.
if I just go up there and I swing and the ball goes straight, I'm like, damn it.
Really?
Because under pressure, what I want is something to kind of lean on.
Okay.
To me, that's a feeling.
Yeah.
To me, last week, that was like taking my hands back, like you said, outside of, or the club outside of my hands. So that's kind of something to have when I'm a little unsure or stressed, or, you know. And then I just try to work that into my routine to get comfortable with it.
How will you know when that feeling has left you? When the ball isn't doing what you wanted? Like, how long will a good feeling like that last? Because obviously it's good. I mean, third place.
Yeah. I mean, it could have easily been that I walk up on the range on Saturday and that feeling has gone too far.
Yeah.
But then I tweak it on the range for 20, 25 minutes and I try to find something else that works back and forth. And that's like every day on tour.
Yeah, I see it every day on the men's stuff for sure.
But then obviously, like we always, or at least I do, I mean, I have checkpoints to know kind of these are my basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the cool thing is about you when I look at it? You are setting like a lot of first-time records. You know, winning on the DP World. You've obviously had a good career where you've won young amateur levels, gone through. Where do you set the level mentally? Where, like, what is the ceiling? How do you keep pushing through each boundary? And how can we as listeners to this and as amateurs or pros that are listening, how can we make sure that we hit our top level?
It's a big question.
It's a big question. It's a good question considering I only got 10 minutes with you. I'm proud of myself for it.
I mean, obviously, like, I'd say obviously, because that's what you need to do. Like, you need to set your goals, right? I think it's important to set goals that are both very reachable and goals that are very hard to get. It wouldn't be okay to me if last year, if I reached all my goals, because then they're too easy. Then I know that I could have pushed myself more. I think looking back at it last year, let's say if I had 10 goals last year, I managed to do like 4 of them. I was really bad last year, and I still had a decent year, I'd say. So I think there's a good balance there, because that kind of gives you confidence when you reach them. It also keeps you grounded when you don't reach them. But really, like, don't be scared to tell someone also. Like, I want to be world number 1 and I'm going to. Like, not like...
So if you speak it, you can almost make it a reality.
I think so.
Yeah, I like that.
I think so.
So we have on the Dope Stroke podcast, we have one question that I have to get in before we let you go. And it is your favourite alcoholic beverage, or just, if you don't drink, beverage that you've ever had in a celebratory moment or an important moment to you. We've got a top 10 list, but I don't have time to list what's on the list. But there's some iconic places like Table Mountain in South Africa gets in there, Alex Ferguson Suite at Old Trafford. So where was it and what drink was it and what was the reason for it?
So it's the place.
Place, drink and moment that caused it. Unless it's super personal and you don't want to get them there. Or it's in the future. Maybe tonight might be the best drink you've ever had.
The best drink I ever had. I'm not a big alcoholic drinker. I mean, I can be suborned to say like a glass of milk with pancakes in my house.
Just home.
Yeah.
I like it. I know as a touring professional that's a big thing. So, Linn, great to meet you. Sorry we didn't have more time.
No.
I'd love to talk to you longer.
Next time.